Yeah. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen of the press. Good afternoon to our distinguished platform guests, the Honorable Deputy Minister and Acting Minister of Information, Mr. Johnny Tapa, members of the senior management team here at the Ministry of Information, our distinguished guests, the Honorable Alexander Nuta, Minister of Agriculture, is one of our principal guests. We are anticipating the arrival of Dr. Yuri, the Executive Director of the Environmental Protection Agency. The two individuals are here to give us updates on the workings of their respective institutions. The Ministry of Agriculture forms a very cardinal part of the President's arrest agenda, and we are glad to have the head of the Ministry of Agriculture here. The EPA has also been doing some very good enforcement in terms of environmental policy. They will be here to speak to us today. And as a ministry, we are glad to have them. We request your undivided attention, members of the press, as we now seize the moment to make the following remarks on behalf of the government of Liberia. I'd like to welcome all of you again to the Charles William, the historic Charles William conference room here at the Ministry of Information. The press briefing is part of the regular function of the Ministry of Information. We use this podium every Tuesday and Thursday to bring you regular updates and unfoldings across all sectors of government. And we are always appreciative of the press, the independent press, for coming here to provide all the coverage that we need to reach the Liberian people across the 15 political subdivisions of this country. Special thanks to the management of the Liberia Broadcasting System for providing us digital coverage. They are here in TV and in radio land, which is thanks to Brother Eugene Fadon and his team. The government and its international partners are currently working on an emergency evacuation plan to bring back Liberians from Lebanon. The action is necessitated by the ongoing clashes between the State of Israel and the Hezbollah militant group in that part of the world. The government calls on all Liberians with relatives and friends currently in Lebanon to come forward with their names, contact information, and current location and present these details at the legal section of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The requested information is crucial for the governments and partners to track and prioritize individuals for the evacuation process. Given the urgency of the situation, it is imperative that citizens respond promptly, as there is limited time to facilitate this evacuation operation. While the government is currently working with an estimated figure of 50 Liberians, we recognize that there may be additional Liberians in the Lebanon who are not on the government's profiling registration list. The ongoing hostilities poses a significant threat to the safety and security of Liberians in the Lebanon. We encourage all Liberians, citizens and residents of the country, to remain calm and patient as the government works to ensure the safety and evacuation of all affected individuals, whether to a third country of their choosing or back to Liberia. The government remains committed to the safety and well-being of all of its citizens, including those who are resident abroad. As a government, we are happy to announce that as part of the President's international trip, results are now being manifested. Results are now being manifested to the benefit of the country. And to that effect, we like to announce that Channel Road and Bridges Corporation is in the country for a feasibility assessment of the path to construct the Tottenham, to construct the overpasses or overhead bridges, if you may, from the SKD Boulevard to the ministerial complex. This initiative is a direct result of the President's recent trip to China. We'd like to emphasize that Channel Road and Bridges Corporation is a company contracted by the government of the People's Republic of China to construct the two overpass bridges for Liberia. This is a goodwill project from the government and people of China to the people of Liberia. In some quarters, some are saying that President MICAT has been traveling out of the country quite frequently. We say to those people that the resources required to transform Liberia, as President MICAT envisions, do not lie only within the borders of Liberia. Those resources are out there, and our president has been making strides to ensure that his vision for Liberia, where he wants Liberia to be for the next generation, and now for the next elections, becomes a reality. The president wants Liberia, a Liberia that is totally developed, with an improved economy that works for all of its citizens. This is the vision that we all are working towards as a country. The president was in China at the start of last month. A month later, the company contracted by the government of China to construct the overpass bridges connecting Tottenham Boulevard and the ministerial complex in Combertown is in the country to mobilize the equipment and resources needed to jumpstart the project. The project, we are told, is due to start in February of 2025. The company paid a quarterly visit yesterday with the authorities at the Ministry of Public Works to discuss their plans and preparation for the project. The Ministry of Public Works assured the group that the government has already paid for most of the properties along the corridor, and demolition works will begin immediately. President MICAT continues to have confidence in the leadership of Minister Gaines and the authorities at the Ministry of Public Works, and he is confident that their leadership will properly oversee the construction works. We also like to say that the judiciary has confirmed to us that Chief Justice Omon Sianen Yo has suspended the stipendiary magistrate of the Bureau Ministerial Court for illegally arresting and putting in handcuffs a female student while en route for a graduation ceremony. Again, we record that on 21st September 2024, there was an incident in the Broadway area involving its students, the authorities of the SD school system, and the authorities of the Bureau Ministerial Court. The student, name withheld, was handled while preparing to head to her graduation program. Very sadly, photos of the incident surfaced on social media, and it became a topical issue. The attention of the authorities at the Ministry of Education was drawn to the incident, and the ministry got involved and inquired about the legality of the action against the students. The matter was brought to the attention of the Chief Justice as well. She then commissioned an investigation into the matter. The investigation revealed very sadly that there was some altercation between the students' family and the school authorities about some $10 United, which some say was a balance of the graduation fee, and the school said, she said, was an insurance deposit for the return of the graduation gown. The Chief Justice investigation into the legal action against the student found that the purported rape that resulted in the arrest and her being hanged up was an illegal authorization of the court. Based on these findings, the Chief Justice suspended the statutory magistrate of the Bureau of Ministerial Court for dereliction of duties. He will be without pay and benefits for the next 3 months. Also, the Chief Bailiff and Clerk of the court were dismissed by the Chief Justice. Another bailiff who participated in the illegal action was suspended as well. The Chief Justice has also asked the Ministry of Justice that employs city solicitors, including the Bureau-based city solicitor who participated in the illegal action against a student, to act against the particular city solicitor who reported to the Chief Justice. The government detests the unlawful use of judicial powers to intimidate and violate the rights of peaceful citizens. The school authorities themselves have come out to say that they did not request the illegal action against the students. As a government, we thank the Chief Justice for her swift action against these judicial officers, and we urge that this should be a warning and a lesson to others within the judiciary or elsewhere in the government who abuse the powers of the offices they hold. As a government, we speak and act in unison. The law will not be abused for private gains, and any officer of the law who abuses his office will face the consequences of such abuse. The Ministry of Commerce and the Liberia Petroleum Refining Corporation, the LPRC, have again announced a reduction in the prices of gasoline and fuel on the Liberian market. The wholesale price for gasoline or petroleum motor spirit, PMS, is now US $3.70, and fuel oil, the wholesale price is $4.03. The retail price for gasoline on the local market for our everyday people is USD $3.98, or $775. For fuel oil, the retail price is $4.31, or $840. The Ministry of Commerce and Industry says they will be monitoring the local market to ensure that these prices are strictly adhered to. The ministry says they are working on a new transport fare schedule, which they will release very soon. We thank the authorities of the LPRC and the Ministry of Commerce for acting swiftly to ensure that reductions in global oil prices impact prices on our local markets. The government is committed to improving the living conditions of our people, and we are working every day to accomplish that goal. Lastly, before I take my seat, let me speak to something that has been on some of the local radio stations. The U.S. ambassador addressed himself to a situation on high visa application rejection rate for Liberians. Ambassador Maxine Tuno appeared on state radio yesterday and granted an interview with Mr. Babli Kamara on the Super Money Show. Media reports are quoting the ambassador as saying the high visa denial rates for Liberians is not a U.S. government policy against Liberia. Visa denials are correlated with visa overstays. I read that again. Visa denials are correlated with visa overstays. High visa overstays, that is, you receive a visiting visa to the U.S. for a specific period of time and you do not leave the U.S. on the date you are required to leave. That means you overstay. Those who behave in such a way must know that they are reducing the chances of other Liberians who may have good reasons to go to the United States or be denied because somebody previously receiving a visa to visit the United States, travel to the United States, and violated the conditions of the visa by refusing to return home or to not leave the United States on the specified date they are required to leave. We encourage good behavior from visa applicants as a government and visitors to the United States. There are legal pathways to immigrate to the United States. Visiting visa should not be used as a cover. If you want to immigrate to the United States, please take advantage of the legal pathways and stop embarrassing the image of our country. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, that being said, I will now invite to the podium our first speaker, no other but the Honorable Minister of Agriculture, Dr. Alexander Luther Orimad. He will be followed by the Executive Director of the Environmental Protection Agency. You see the projector, you see the setup. After his presentation, then we'll make it interactive. We'll take questions from you members of the press. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you. The information guys so usually when I come, they put me here so that let me feel that I'm sure like all of them. No problem. But let me thank the MICAT team for this opportunity again to brief our people. Let me also thank His Excellency the President for entrusting us with a sector that speaks to the heart of the people. Usually, we didn't know that agriculture was so important to the people until we got the job. Until they started tracking every little movement that we make. And they said, oh, agriculture again. So today we want to be briefing the audience out there, the Liberian people in the diaspora, wherever they are listening to us, on what we are doing at the Ministry of Agriculture and what we expect to do under the leadership of the President of this country. Before I go into the points I want to talk about, there are 5 areas I want to be speaking, 6 areas I want to be speaking about. I will be speaking about some rumors in that the Ministry of Agriculture, under our leadership, is starting a multi-grant program that was at the ministry. We want to talk about that. The next thing we'll be talking about will be this rumor around that the Ministry of Agriculture is just traveling. And the MICA guy, God just said it, that people say, oh, the president is traveling. And I'm surprised that people also say the Ministry of Agriculture is nothing to do with the job, it's just travel. We also want to be addressing some of the achievements we have made or we have initiated with agricultural mechanization. And then we will be, sorry, I think, yeah, so we also want to be looking at our budgetary outlook for 2025, what we intend to do in the sector. We want to be looking at some of the empowerment program we have for the young people in the agriculture sector and some of the interventions that we are currently undertaking as a ministry. So, I would like to set this premise about what's happening in the sector. You know, agriculture in this country over the years has been the darling of the development partners. Development partners have taken interest in the sector. You see a lot of international organizations supporting the sector. You see our development partner, the major one, putting money into the agriculture sector because they believe agriculture sector is critical for economic development and wealth creation in this country. Before we came to this position, we were out there as farmers and also as researchers and doing other things with other development partners. So we took interest in understanding some of the projects that have been implemented in the country. So between 2010 and 2020, I reviewed 20 projects that were financed by the key development partners, including the World Bank, the African Development Bank, the European Union, the USAID, and a couple of other financing that came through the West African investment projects. So out of the 20 projects that we reviewed from 2010 to 2020, we realized that about $685.19 million US dollars and 29.5 million euros were spent in the agriculture sector by projects implemented in the sector. So because of that, when we did our own assessment, we had some issues. So it kind of has impacted the way we address our stewardship of the sector because we feel the funds that were utilized over the period that we talk about, we think it did not meet the desired impact on the agricultural economy of this country. So when we got to the ministry, we have our own vision along with our team. We have our vision on how we can make it, we can do it better. So because of our perspective, you know, we have been doing things in different ways. And maybe other people who are complaining about what we do, they not understand from which perspective we come. So I just want to lay that premise, and then as we go through the details, we'll get to understand why we do what we do at the ministry. So, the matching grant, I was called a few days ago. A couple of times people complain, oh, you have not been able to approve any grant since you came as Minister of Agriculture. You are stalling everything. And I thought to clear the air. When I was appointed as Minister of Agriculture, we took over along with my team, Deputy Minister Solomon Hedula is there for technical, and Deputy Minister Moses Bryan is there for extension services, and Deputy Minister Mrs. Dubley, Anthony Dubley is there for administration. We've all been trying to understand what's happening. The PMU that controls our projects, that grant these grant to smallholder farmers and agro businesses, will review what we're in the pipeline. We got them. We got two major projects there, the STAR project and the RETRAC. That's the Rural Economic Transformation Project. This project has matching grant component that is managed through the Liberia Agriculture Commercialization Fund, or the LCF, that is managed by a Ghanaian firm called Deloitte. What we saw, we had a list of projects submitted to us for the RETRAC. Over 20 projects were approved and sent to us. But we wanted to have the fund management team, or we call it the Fund Advisory Committee of 5, to sit and deliberate on the project submitted on a retrap, the World Bank told us we had to wait until we have a major review of the retrap project to see whether the current grant program are in alignment with our national development plan. And let me just make it clear. One of the things that we did when we came initially, given the fact that we knew something was, what was happening in the past but not satisfactory, was to develop the Liberian Feed Yourself agenda. And that agenda is our National Agricultural Development Plan for 2024 to 2026. The World Bank will share a copy, everybody, our development partner, everyone has a copy. So the World Bank said, okay, since this administration now has a plan for developing agriculture in this country, we want to see whether our current portfolio under the retrap is in alignment with what you have set as priorities in the NADP. So, even though I had requested a fast sitting, we were not able to sit because the World Bank has told us the midterm review. And that midterm review is ongoing now. The team is in town. They're going to be having this review up to the 16th of this month. The team is here doing the midterm review. So while the midterm review is ongoing, there is no way the World Bank will approve any grant proposal, even though there are some pipeline, it's sort of like that. The second project is the STAR project. On the STAR project, we received 14 proposals that went through the fund management process and were approved and sent to the FAC. The FAC is chaired by the Ministry of Finance. So Mr. Depozo, along with other FAC committee members, we met in July. And all of the 14 projects that we received for the fund management committee, we approved 7 of those. And we sent it to the World Bank so that disbursement could be made. But after conversation, the World Bank said, well, Star P has supported a lot of oil palm projects, and there's one that you guys have approved again, both of them are in oil palm. But not just that, they said some of the review processes that led to the recommendations of these 14 projects needed to be looked at. So we had a conversation. And for the time we made a recommendation, the World Bank had not given the clearance for those projects to be supported. So it is not that we just sat there and said, well, we do not want to do any grant project anymore. No. One thing I also want to say, make clear here is, we came and met a team that is managing this portfolio, and the contract of that team is supposed to be ending in November. I thought to review the contract and see whether we can still continue with this process of having the law to manage the grant company. We are reviewing that contract, and I can tell you, personally, I'm not quite comfortable with the contract because of the financial, the way the contract was structured, I'm not quite comfortable with it. So we are reviewing the process, and then we will subsequently brief the public about the final decision. Now, the second point is about traveling. People say I'm traveling. My first trip as Minister of Agriculture was with the President. And let me tell you, I don't just travel. If I travel, I mean, I'm on a delegation of the President's home, and he asked me to join. So I traveled to Cote d'Ivoire with the President in April. I think that was the first official visit of the President. And then I will travel with him in Cote d'Ivoire. What did we do while we were in Cote d'Ivoire? We were in Cote d'Ivoire at that time. We were able to discuss with the Ministry of Agriculture in Cote d'Ivoire and enter into a memorandum of understanding within the framework of the Mano Rural Union to share ideas. And as a result of the conversation we had there, we had Grupo Avora coming here to explore possibility for investment in our agriculture sector. Even though we have not had real investor come and start the investment process, but there are processes ongoing. And then my next trip was to go to the IMF mission in April, the spring meeting. Regularly we go there to engage the World Bank team and have conversation. While on that trip, the head of agriculture division at the World Bank, we had conversation, and it was fruitful. And one of the most important things that came out of that was, while at that meeting I was able to have met the Director General of the International Institute of Tropical Agriculture based in Ibadan, Nigeria, Dr. Simmons. Simmons and I met, and because of that meeting, he was impressed with the conversation, and he invited me to Nigeria, to the IRTA, where we enter into a memorandum of understanding for IRTA to support technology transfer to our agriculture sector. Before I could leave that place, the European Union was already working on a project that IRTA is supposed to come and implement it. So we worked for them with that project, we discussed it, we restructured it, and because of our intervention, the IRTA right now, the team is in Cary. They are bringing in improved varieties of maize that will be grown here. They brought in 7 new varieties of cassava that our farmers will be growing here. They are also doing the Soil for Liberia project that will do a complete mapping of the soil type across the country to inform our farming population of what they need to be doing. So that trip to Washington led to our engagement with the Director General of the Elite Research Institute. In fact, that research institute is going to be working with CARI, our own research institute, for exchange of technical expertise in agriculture. That's why we travel there. We travel also to China this year. When we went to China, we engaged the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Affairs of the People's Republic of China. The minister and I entered into a memorandum of understanding for cooperation. We also used that trip to engage the finance system there to support our mechanization process. And while we were in China, I was also doing some work on behalf of our maritime affairs. Because of our personal connection, we were able to meet a high up at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and raise Liberia's interest in our maritime agreement that the Commissioner of Maritime signed just September. And because of our conversation and the MOU we have, when we traveled back to China this year, with the president on the president delegation, the president of China approved some support to the agriculture sector that will be giving us the opportunity to establish 8 mechanization centers in this country with equipment provided by the Chinese government. In August, by the end of August, we went to Kenya. We went to Kenya to sign up to CAFASI, which is the Korea-Africa Cooperative for Food Security Initiative. We signed up to that. And because of our membership to that CAFASI group, we were able to bring back to Liberia 20 rice varieties that our scientists at CARI now will be multiplying for us to give to our farmers out there to produce. That's just a few of the trip. And we went to Korea. Let me bring that out. We went to Korea. We engaged investors in the agriculture sector. And as a result of that, Korea delegation came to Liberia. And some of them expressed interest in the establishment of a cassava processing facility in the free zone here. That negotiation is ongoing with the National Investment Commission. Besides that, other Koreans have been coming to this country. There's a Korean who wants to come here and establish a plan to do cashew processing, which is part of our national development plan. So we made this trip not because we want to travel. We travel on behalf of the country to push the country's agenda. And I just talked about mechanization. I will defer that to our intervention. I will defer that to that. So I will talk about the budget. I know financing agriculture through our system has been critical. Let me have my photos there. have been very critical. You know, in previous administration, we've not had the kind of a support that we need to maybe to run agriculture effectively. We got some support from donors, and because donors give the money, they influence how it should be. So this coming 2025, we have submitted our budget already to the Ministry of Finance. And in that budget, we actually want to have $50 million for agriculture. We've written all of the lawmakers, the House of Representatives, the House of Senate, all of the 30 senators, we've written them letters telling them the need to support agriculture in the forthcoming budget. The representatives, 73 of them, we've sent them letters along with copies of the National Agricultural Development Plan. We've told them how much we need to be able to do additional 10,000 hectares of land for rice production next year. We want to be able to do 5,000 hectares of oil crop that will support the income generation among our farmers. So we have our PSRP submitted to the Ministry of Finance, and that will be taken to the legislature. I know we also promised that we want to do an agriculture enterprise development ban. In the last budgetary process, we tried to budget it, but we didn't get money for that. We've also included that in our budget for the next fiscal year. And let me be frank with you. I think there are good ways out there this time around. I had a very good conversation with the Minister of Finance. Let me thank him for the reception. I know he understands the challenges in the agricultural sector. They are doing well to support us. Just the other day, we had a meeting. Through our meeting, the Minister of Finance was able to approve 73 staff we want to hire. They have approved them to be hired between August, because they are already working, but they are not on payroll. They don't have, so the signed contract, we are signing a contract with them between August 1st to December 31st. And the minister has promised that we will have them incorporated, because the Ministry of Agriculture is run by technicians. We need to have technicians in the field. I know the first time I appeared here, I presented the situation in the sector. And I will just repeat it a little bit. We have 100 agricultural districts in this country and about 300 agricultural plans. When we go to the Ministry of Agriculture, we get an assessment from the Extension Department. We realize that out of the 100 agricultural districts, we only have technicians on the paper assigned to 47 of them. So there's a gap of 53. But even with the 47 that we have there, only 25 are active. 22 of them were already old and ready for retirement, so they were not doing anything, but they on the paper. So you cannot run a ministry that requires 100 technicians in the field with 25 of them. That's for the district agriculture officer. For the clearing technicians, we have only 26 on payroll when we need 300 of them. So the sector has been vulnerable. You got farmers out there doing it on their own because they don't have the technicians. So when we prepare, we ask the Ministry of Finance to enable us and the CSA to enable us have at least the first 73 technicians that we can bring on board. So the budget that we have here captures the full capacity that we need for the Ministry of Agriculture to be run appropriately, especially technical capacity. And I'm glad the Minister of Finance, all of his goodwill and his understanding of the need to have technical people in the sector, has approved the first 73 persons who will be coming, with already signed contract with them, will be coming on board to help us with some of the activities in the sector between now and December 31st, and then there will be transition through appropriate vetting process by the CSA to the payroll for 2025 moving forward. So, what have we done as intervention since we came at the Ministry of Agriculture? And like I said, today I will do something unconventional. I will actually be calling names on some of our beneficiaries. Because you see, if we spend over 700 million in the sector, and the sector remains the same, we are not prepared to repeat it. And let me be clear here. In the agricultural sector, there are problems. Both with the farmers and with us as administrators. Some of our farmers are very hardworking, but we also have farmers who are just project farmers and farmers who are political farmers. When they see there's this project, they rush for it, you give them the benefit for the project, and then tomorrow they're not farmers. So this time around, we want to change that. We want to make sure if you are farmers, we provide support for you. You are farmers, and you will account for whatever support you receive from us as a ministry. So when we made our plan, we targeted that we would do 50,000 hectares of lowland for rice production, 20,000 hectares of land for cassava production. And this year, we thought to have a pilot for some of the things that we want to do. For this production, the president had always said, you know, the reason why women are not active or the young people are not involved with agriculture is because of the geography. We do agriculture as a subsistence skill. But this time around, he says we should do it differently. And because of our interest in doing it differently, we said, well, we should mechanize farming. So that's one of the reasons why we had to go to China to ask for this, some of the machines that we asked for. And in fact, on the World Bank project, the start of the Green-Truck project, there is also a drive for mechanization. So we've been trying to establish mechanization centers across the country. We submitted a proposal to establish mechanization centers in our 15 counties, plus 3, because the largest county we want to have 2 tools there, that's one local member. When we requested, we were able to get approval for 8 of those projects, and then our good friends are willing to help us establish mechanization centers in 8 counties. I mean, in 5 counties, 8 mechanization centers. Bon, Lofa, Nima, they are the major production counties. We want to have 2 in each of those, and we want to have a center in Magibe County, a center in Mosomani County to support. Each of those centers will have equipment ready for land preparation. So this year, on our Retrap project, we are supporting cassava production. But because of our intention to carry on mechanization, we have organized the farmers into production groups. We do not want to support smallholder farmers who are scattered around. We bring them together so we can provide them the services that are required to improve their productivity. So in Cape Mount, in Maserado, in Bong, and Magibe counties, we are developing 200 acres each. And these 200 acres are together. 200 acres with 50 persons. So each of the 50 persons will own 4 acres on that plot to grow cassava. What the government is doing, the government has paid for the services of machine operators, higher mechanization services. They will go in there, they will lay out, they will clear the land, lay it out, and prepare it for production. And what we are doing again, we gave them the cassava cuttings, improved varieties of cassava that are high yielding. So if you went to Kakata now, there's a place in Kakata behind, there's a new Kakata behind that side, you'll see a large field with 50 beneficiaries there. And we are working through the cassava sector working group. 50% on 200 acres. We lay it out so that next year they will grow cassava on those seed spots. They don't have to go rest another place. The intention is we do the hard work for them. Do the hard work for them, and they continue. So, In order to make sure that this cassava that will be produced will have market for it. And this is one of the areas that the president is passionate about. In fact, before he became president, when we used to have conversation, he always talked about cassava, the cassava product, the type of coming from cassava. So we have an investor, the investor is actually based here, who has given us a decent proposal to establish a cassava processing factory in Margibi County, around the Wayala. He's going to be producing starch out of cassava. So all those people who are going to be producing cassava will have market for it. As they produce, you will purchase it, process it, and export the product. So we are not just supporting production, but then the market aspect of it, we are taking care of it. So by next year, January or February, we'll start. In fact, he briefed me just 2 days ago and said the equipment are already being manufactured by a manufacturer that he contacted. And those equipment will come to Liberia. They will start exporting it in December. By January, February, they should start the installation. He's identified the spot that he took me to and he wants to have it there. So we are doing this to ensure that our people have source of income. So supporting 50 persons for households on 200 acres, and we have 4 of them. We've been able to put 200 households to work and creating income generating opportunity for them. And by next year, if our budget is supported, we want to expand that initiative. Now, for the rice sector. Under the STAR project, we are supporting rice production in Nima, in Lofa, in Bon. On the RETRA project, we are also supporting rice production in Lofa, Nima, and Bon. We set target at the beginning of the year. We said we'll do 2,000 hectares through those projects. I've got some reports on the progress we have made, but I told them I wanted to go and see. Because any number that I gave the public, I want to make sure is what is happening. So I'm going to the field to see, to verify the final data before I can use it on this appearance. But we are making efforts in the rice market on chain. We've also come here and promised the Liberian people that you will see Liberian produce rice on the market next year. And we are committed to doing that. We will not be able to meet the demand of the Liberian people because I know we want to have more rice, but at least you will see at least 5 brands of rice on the market next year by Liberian producers where you can go and buy from the store. And that's the reason why, because we want to improve the recipe, that's the reason why we brought in additional 20 varieties so that the people can try it and we see which ones are palatable. So those value addition, especially a group of people who are in the value addition, we have worked with them, we've identified 5 different brands that will be in the market. We'll let you know, we'll appear here, we'll bring the brand is, we'll show it to you so you see it, let you know. So that when they come on the market, you will see and know them. So what are we doing to support, to ensure that the rest come on the market? Like I told you, we have 2,000 that we plan to do under the RETRAP and START project. We also plan to do some projects on the RETRAP, not the RETRAP, but the Saffron project that we have. And we are doing some rice production also on the EFA project that we have. We call it the BCARP project. But at the Ministry of Agriculture, I'm going to call names. We have what we call the Emergency Rice Production Offensive. And that project is actually directly implemented by the Ministry of Agriculture through budget support from the African Development Bank. At the beginning of the year, we said we were going to do about 1,600 hectares. So what did we do? Put it out there, and 139 farmers applied. 139 farmers were vetted and qualified to produce with different hectares. Each of those farmers we sign a contract with them. Because you heard me say, they are political farmers, they are pressure farmers. What we intend to realize here is the 1,600 hectares we pay for people to produce, there should be new area that we are adding. Because our target has been to do 50,000 hectares. So if we do 2,000 on a reef trap and directly we're doing 1,600, that means we should be doing 3,600 if we realize all our target. So for the apple, our 139 farmers signed up to do 1,694 hectares of land. In Bond County, we have about 41 farmers. I'm going to call it so that the public gets to know what we have or what we are doing out there. Okay, in Bond County we have 61, I'm sorry. In Buffalo County we got 14. In McGibbon County we have 38. In Monterey County we have 26 farmer group. But the number of hectares differ across these counties. If you drive from ELWA coming, all those swamps you see around the cattle junction to the fish market, those swamps all supposed to be laid out. Because we pay farmers to lay them out. What we did, those contracts that we signed with farmers, if you are producing, you develop 1 hectare, the Ministry of Agriculture, through that contract, gave you a catch of $1,000, and then they gave you the seed rice, the fertilizer, and all the inputs that are required for you to produce on that 1 hectare. So, this 1,694, it means it's about 1.6 million we're going to be spending for land development. If we give you the money, you are supposed to go and brush a new place, you lay it out, and grow rice there, so that next year you grow there. And these supports are one-off support. When we support these farmers this year, next year we are not going to be supporting them. But what we'll do is, we will link them to the cluster leads, who will be a processor. When you grow your rice, you sell to that processor, he will process it and sell it to the market. But the money that you will generate from selling your party rice to them, you can reuse it to invest, because we want to have farming as a business. So that's why we gave people money. So I'm going to call a few of the names. I should not call? I'll call. In Bond County, there is a group called AgriGrow, right? AgriGrow International or Incorporated told us they have 10 hectares. And the contact person for that group is Emmanuel Tamata. Emmanuel Tamata has 10 hectares. So 10 hectares in the agreement, in the contract, will make the 50% payment. And that 50% payment will mean you will develop the land, you brush, clear, develop, lay out, and then we'll come and see it. We'll give you the seed you plant. By the time you finish planting the 50%, when you plant your rice now, then we'll come back for additional 30%. That 30% will be used to do weeding, the application of everything. Then when you finish harvesting, we'll give you the balance 20%. So in Mana Tamata now, because he got 10 hectares, we gave him check for $5,000. That's our support. And the balance is 5,000, depending on the completion. So Asa Wea is also in Bond County. He comes from Abidjan. Asa has 8 hectares, so you do the mathematics. Siafa Kalipa is in Bond County. He has 5 hectares. Ato Yense Farm in Bond County, 5 hectares or 3 hectares. Then we got, we are also supporting the Cottington Farm. Cottington has 10 hectares, we're supporting them. Then we have Butu Besa Don't Give Up Farm, we got 1 hectare, so we're supporting that 1 hectare. Sam and Bolu from Bon County, we got 25 hectares. 25 hectares, we are giving, we've already paying $12,500 to prepare and do the planting. Then we got James T. Yanley from Bon County, 10 hectares. You can see 5. We got Harris B. Molva. Harris B. Molva is from Gulman Multi-Purpose Farm Cooperative in Bon County. He got 4 hectares. We got Benete Pilona from Bon County. He got 5 hectares. We got Johnson Bellama Weaver from Bon County. He got 20 hectares. We got Weaver Florence Siafa from Bon County, Grow Liberia, 15 hectares. We got Jim S. Qualley from Bon County, he got 5 hectares. We got Garment D. Sase from Bon County, 15 hectares. We got Nancy B. Bridge from Bon County, 4 hectares. We got Esther K. Morba from Bon County, 8 hectares. We got Jean T. Owa from Bon County, 43 hectares. We got Josephine M. Williams from Bon County, 10 hectares. We got Pascal Lee J. Saki from Bon County, 9 hectares. We got Francis Pilowo, Bon County, 10 hectares. We got Moses S. Gomuyo from Bon County, 5 hectares. We got Victor S. Toba from Bon County, 10 hectares. We got Helena Toba from Bon County, 6 hectares. We got Otis Pilowo from Bon County, 10 hectares. We got Patience Gateman from Bon County, 20 hectares. We got Genevieve Fawa from Bon County, 5 hectares. We got Ibn Morba, 2 hectares. We got Samuel T. Kepula, 5 hectares. We got John Tuadolo, 12 hectares. We got Robert Wiggy, 3 hectares. We got Martin George from Bon County. We got him for 12 hectares. Then we have Midlife, Khalifa Bility, we got 50 hectares. We got Marco Peewee. Marco Peewee has 30 hectares in Bon County. Charleston Bobo, we got 6 hectares in Bon County. We got Musu Fofana, he got 1 hectare. We got Joseph Fayad, we got 3 hectares. We got Kenneth Robson, he got 3 hectares. We got Janet Joe, 4 hectares. We got James S. Pay, he got 19 hectares. We got George Gaypoa, he got 19 hectares, 18 hectares. We got Sawa M. Honey, 8 hectares. We got Dumo B, 5 hectares. We got Stephen Y. Morba Jr., he has 1 hectare. We got Musu Nana, 11 hectares. We got Sonny Jackson, 3 hectares. We got Cassie Stevens, has 30 hectares. We got Shedra M. Willie. Shedra M. Willie has 4 hectares. We got Prince M. Kroman in Bon County, 4 hectares. We got Maurice Salif, 1 hectare. George Winning, 10 hectares. Musu Bato, 20 hectares. Rashida Vambusu, 5 hectares. Noah Latte, 5 hectares. Or 10 hectares, sorry. Then we got James K. Topa, 4 hectares. We got Jefferson K. Page, 39 hectares. We got Moses Coffee, he got 2 hectares. And we got Topa Flomo from Bon County, 20 hectares. That concludes Bon County. We'll go to Bapolo County. Oh, I will call it. Edmonds Dingley from Bapolo County, 10 hectares. David T. Ravos, Bapolo County, 4 hectares. Fatou Kabar, Bapolo, 4 hectares. Then we have Otis Stephen, 27 hectares. Miami Quality, 10 hectares. Bentu Kalon, 16 hectares. Jeremiah S. Momo Jr., 33 hectares. Mohammed D. F. Baliti, 20 hectares. Bian S. Salih, 50 hectares. Josephine Bapolo, 60 hectares. David Fokpa, 5 hectares. Howard E. Patrick, 6 hectares. Kona Kwale, 3 hectares. That's for Bapolo. Magibi County, we have Vivian Dusu. Okay. So, Magibi County, I will call a few of them. Vivian Dusu has 10 hectares. We got James Walker has 10 hectares. We have Justin B. Bobo, 18 hectares. We got Bato Taylor, 20 hectares. And James Yuma has 50 hectares. We have Zulu P. Pay, 50 hectares. We have Antoinette Bomu, 55 hectares. We got Edwin Yakwabu of the United Church World Agriculture, 46 hectares. And in Maserado County, I will call the biggest one, George Pay. George Pay has 21 hectares. Jacob Moiba, 20 hectares. We got Robert S.M. Bimba, 43 hectares. We have Sam Yebwa, 25 hectares. S. Moses Josiah, 25 hectares. So we have this here. We want our farmers who are receiving this support to know that we are going to be holding them accountable for what we gave them. We're going to be holding them responsible for what we gave them because we signed a contract. I've told them, I had a meeting with all of them. I told them, you sign a contract with us. If anybody from my ministry or project people come back to you and say, give us money, you give it to them, I'm holding responsible. We don't want anybody to go behind and get money. Then you don't do the job. So the project people, we have our M&E people in the field doing it. We want our farmers to be earnest with us as much as we ourselves will be earnest with them. That's the reason why we are calling this name. We are providing support out there to our farmers. We just want the public to know we are making efforts. But what we have seen is some of our farmers, they not be living on the commitment, but we're taking a few tours in November. We're going to all of these farms to see what they will be producing for the year, and then we'll come back and report to the public. I know I hear that the time is going, so I will start there. Then let me do the question and answer period. We'll answer the question. Thank you.
Thank you, the Minister. Just want to add that just in case you want the list to be published.
Oh, we'll keep it first.
Okay. Are you ready? Oh, God.
Maybe I don't do that one. So thank you very much. We are here again for additional updates. Thank you, Honorable Minister of Agriculture, for the extensive briefing. I think when the Minister of Information decided to have these press conferences twice a week, the purpose was for us to inform our people on what is happening in government. I think it's a good effort. And giving that extensive detail is very important. You're hearing it from the House's mouth. We'll be here briefly to give you some information. This one slide will go ahead just to give additional information. I know those who are really learning cannot see the slide, but the journalists here can see as well. Officials of government, non-governmental organizations, my colleague from the EPA, member of the 4 estates, of course, the Honorable Minister of Agriculture, and folks here at the Ministry of Information, Culture Affairs, and Tourism, ladies and gentlemen. A brief greeting from the Environmental Protection Agency of Liberia. The EPA honors our leadership backed by the Board of Directors, and our President, His Excellency President Joseph Boakai, continue to enforce the environmental laws of Liberia. Over the past few weeks, the EPA has made several interventions to address trending environmental issues locally and internationally. And today's briefing will cover a few of those. We'll talk about participation in the 68th Conference of the International Atomic Agency, the EPA participation at the United Nations General Assembly. We paid a visit to Sierra Leone. We'd like to update the public about that. There are international conferences coming up. We want to inform the public about those conferences. Recently, there was a landslide in Kilimantan in Fuya district. We want to get updates on that landslide. Usually when we come, we also bring companies to book. So there are a few of those that I'm going to be bringing to book today in terms of their activities, including the United African Mineral Corporation in Bapulu. We want to highlight some wetland degradation here in Mosorado County. We want to talk about oil spill in the Japan community in Carisburg. I want to talk about the slaughterhouse, the one that at the outskirts of Plainsville. Those are the areas we want to cover for today. The first one, EPA participation in the 68th General Conference of the IEA in Austria, Vienna. The EPA, along with the Minister of Foreign Affairs, attended the 68th section of the International Atomic Agency General Conference in Vienna, Austria. Among other achievements, we signed and deposited several agreements. One, the Convention on Early Notification of Nuclear Accident. Two, the Convention on Assisting in the Case of Nuclear Accident, Radiology, and Emergency. Number three, the Convention on Nuclear Safety. Number four, the Convention on Physical Protection of Nuclear Material and its attachment. Number five, finally, an agreement on the privileges and immunities of the International Atomic Agency. On the sideline of that conference, we also achieved the following. One, negotiation to establish a national data center in Liberia that will help us to gather real-time environmental data, including monitoring seismic activities, radioactive materials, and natural disasters. Number two, a meeting with the director of the African Division of the Department of Technical Cooperation at the IEA included issues around technical assistance to Liberia in the implementation of the IEA 4 different programs, one being Atom for Food program, Human Health program, Atom Net Zero program. We are in touch with the relevant authorities, including my brother here, the Minister of Agriculture and Minister of Health, to be able to develop programs so Liberia can benefit from the initiatives. Number two, our participation at the United Nations General Assembly. At the UNGA, and one of the guardians of the President, Joseph Mbwaka, and Minister of Foreign Affairs, we signed and deposited 2 major instruments that, when implemented, will help save our environment and create job opportunities in Liberia. Number one, the Treaty on Biodiversity Beyond National Jurisdiction, called the BBNJ, and the Minamata Convention on Mercury. Implementation of the BBNJ will not only support Liberia to set aside portion of water as marine protected areas, but it will help curb illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing, thereby promoting sustainable fishery and guarding our ocean waters. Mercury, a toxic substance found in various forms, poses serious health risks to our communities and the environment. From impaired neurological development to respiratory problems and kidney damage, the effect of mercury exposure can be devastating, especially for vulnerable groups like women and pregnant women. Countries that have signed and ratified the Minamata Conventions are able to access international support for capacity building and mercury management strategies. By signing the Minamata Convention on mercury, Liberia is committing to 1, banning new mercury mine sites in Liberia, 2, regulating the use of mercury, 3, putting in control measures on emission, number 4, developing safer practices for artisanal mining activities in the country. Number 3, EPA visit to Sierra Leone. Last week we visited Sierra Leone and met with the Sierra Leone EPA and UNIDO. During the meeting with the EPA, we began preliminary discussion on the management strategies of our shared resources, such as the Mana River and the Gula forests that the 2 countries share. Earlier, we have had similar discussion with our Ivorian counterpart on the management of the Kavala River and the entire forest that both Liberia and Africa share. Our hope is to have similar discussion with our Guinean counterpart. We also met with UNIDO and we discussed the possibility of creating green jobs in Liberia. We'll keep following up the activities. Number 4, Liberia participation in the conference of the parties that are coming up this year. Liberia will participate in 3 global multilateral negotiations this year, which are crucial for addressing the country's environmental challenges and aligning with global sustainability goals. The United Nations Conference of the Parties COP meetings serve as platforms for countries to negotiate and implement strategies related to biodiversity, climate change, and desertification. The 16th meeting of the Conference of the Party, the UN Convention on Biological Diversity, COP16, will take place in Cali, Colombia, from October 21st to November 1st, 2024. The global conference will discuss the challenges and opportunities we face to reverse habitat loss, protect endangered species, and preserve the ecosystem that which all of us depend on. The 29th section of the Conference of the Parties COP of the United Nations Conventions on Climate Change is called COP29, will take place in Baku, Azerbaijan from November 11 to 22nd, 2024. COP29 will cordially focus on finance, as trillions of dollars are required for countries to drastically reduce greenhouse gas emissions and protect lives and livelihoods. The last COP will be the COP16 Conference of the Party, the COP16 on desertification and drought, and that is taking place from December 2nd to 13th, and that coming up in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Liberia participation in these conference of the parties will include high-level government representatives, technical experts from ministries, agencies, and commission, as well as the civil society and youth. Some trending issues. The landslide in Kenema Town, Foya District. What happened there? On September 17, 2024, a catastrophic landslide occurred approximately 1 kilometer from Kenema Town, Foya District, Lofa County, leading to urgent response from both local and national authorities. An investigation team comprising members of the Environmental Protection Agency, the Ministry of Mines and Energy, as well as the National Disaster Management Agency, was rapidly deployed to assess the extent of the damage. Our investigation established the following. 1. Kenema is located in a hilly region with steep terrain and is highly susceptible to landslide, particularly during the rainy season when excessive rainfall compromises soil stability. This landslide followed days of intense rain, resulting in the destabilization of sloped, massive soil movement. The event buried large sections of farmland and disrupted the livelihoods of local farmers who rely heavily on agriculture as their main source of income. Number 2, vast portions of hillside collapsed and large sections of nearby farms were buried on a thick layer of debris, burying about 10 hectares of farmland. Number 3, there were no casualties or injuries, but the damage to local livelihood was severe. One household, according to the town chief, lost a significant portion of his red farm crop, and that has been very vital for his subsistence and his livelihood or income for his family. Number 4, there has been contamination of water sources as a major impact of the landslides. A nearby stream which had long served primary source of drinking water and irrigation for farm was filled with mold and debris, making it unsafe for human consumption and agricultural use. Remote sensing analysis, that's number 5. Remote sensing analysis confirmed high soil moisture level, which contributed to loose soil, weakening the slopes and triggering failure and resulting into the landslide. The EPA therefore recommends the following. 1. There is an urgent need to assist residents with alternative drinking water in the area. Number 2, there is an urgent need to assist farmers, particularly those who were affected. Number 3, there is a need for improved soil conservation. Number 4, there is a need for reforestation and better land use planning. Number 5, which is the most important of all, climate change is impacting Liberia, and there is a need to limit temperature of the earth to about 1.5 degrees Celsius. 2 important interventions are good to mention here. First, the EPA is working with other institutions to implement the Climate Information System project with a goal of establishing a national mineralogical center that will collect and report on Liberia weather patterns. I recently visited MICAT, a company based in Bratislava, Slovakia, that specializes in production of environmental monitoring equipment around the world. We are hoping that we can work with them to get some of the equipment installed in Liberia. While in Vienna, we had a meeting with Dr. Robert Ford, Secretary General of the Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty. The purpose of the meeting was to solicit support in establishing a national data center that I talked about earlier in Liberia that will monitor seismic activity, radioactive materials, and natural disasters with real-time data gathering, transmission, and for us to make informed and timely decisions. Number 6, as we go through the line, unsustainable mining practices at the United African Mineral Corporation in Bapu County. Investigation by the EPA revealed the following. 1. United African Mineral Corporation has been operating a Class B gold mine in Bapu County without environmental permit. 2. Additionally, the company operation has resulted into land degradation, massive biodiversity loss, and huge sediment deposition, leading to pollution of nearby waters. 3. Residents of the area are reportedly finding it difficult to access water sources for domestic use. Number 4, the allegation that the company is, as a Class B mining company, has used sodium cyanide, which is supposed to be used by Class A, is currently under investigation. What action the EPA is doing about this? 1. As a consequence of these findings, the EPA has with immediate effect ordered the shutdown of the company operation. 2. For operating without an environmental permit and causing environmental pollution, the company has been fined $30,000 United States to be paid in government revenue within 72 hours of this statement. Number 3, in the coming days, the EPA team, a team of EPA technicians from Liberia will visit the company's site in Baku to further probe the allegation of the company's use of cyanide. Findings from the assessment will be made available to the public. Mangrove degradation along the SKD Boulevard here in Monserrate County, Monrovia. As a designated wetland of international importance, the Monserrate wetland located near Monrovia is a crucial ecosystem dominated by rich mangrove forests. These mangroves are vital for coastal protection, acting as natural barriers against erosion and extreme weather events, while also serving as essential habitat for diverse species of wildlife, among others. Despite its importance, the Monserrate wetland is under increasing threat from human activities, particularly along the SKD Boulevard corridor, where settlement expansion is contributing to rapid degradation of the mangrove system. In response to these growing concerns, a specialized team of GIS technicians and environmental inspectors were constituted on the 11th of September 2024 to evaluate the extent of this degradation and identify the primary drivers of the degradation. The 2-day assessment sought to gather data on the current state of the mangrove, quantify the impact of nearby development and provide evidence-based insight for future conservation efforts. The EPA finding revealed the following. 1. Encroachment on the wetland, particularly along the SKD Boulevard, is a growing threat driven by rapid urbanization, settlement development, leading to unauthorized clearing of mangrove forests for housing, commercial spaces, and infrastructure expansion, thus increasing vulnerability to coastal erosion, flooding, disrupting wildlife habitat, and threatening local livelihoods. Number 2, improper waste disposal and construction activities are degrading water quality and altering. If left unchecked, this encroachment will lead to irreversible ecological damages. 3, this has resulted into biodiversity loss, reduction in fisheries productivity, increased vulnerability to flooding, reduction in carbon stocks, and increase in poverty due to vulnerability caused by disasters related to mangrove degradation. The EPA recommends the protection law to work with the Ministry of Public Works, the Queensville City Corporation, and the Moreover City Corporation to carry on targeted demolitions for structures situated at a location of critical ecological sensitivity. The call to this action is immediate as Liberia is experiencing unprecedented flooding situation more than ever across the country. In the coming days, the EPA will be publishing a flood hazard vulnerability